The night has grown deep. And perhaps at this moment you are lying there in the quiet darkness of your room, feeling your breathing slow as your mind begins to wander across distant spaces. Do not try to force yourself to think or imagine anything grand right now. Because tonight you do not need to imagine anything new at all. Heaven does not require your creativity or a rich imagination. All that heaven asks of you is stillness and a soul willing to let go. We often spend our entire lives trying to build visions of a better place. A place where every pain disappears and every question receives an answer. But sometimes that very effort makes us even more exhausted. Let your breathing fall into rhythm with this space, allowing the fatigue of a long day to be soothed by the thought that true rest is waiting for you. Not somewhere far away in the future, but right within the acceptance of this present moment. We often wonder why the Bible, the greatest spiritual guidebook, devotes so many pages to human suffering, to wars, tears, and betrayals, yet speaks so little about heaven. Have you ever felt puzzled when you realize that descriptions of heaven in the Bible seem faint compared to the detailed accounts of earthly life? Is that a shortcoming, or a profoundly intentional choice of the Creator? Perhaps we need to pause for a moment and ask ourselves why a place considered the final destination of the soul is wrapped in a veil of silence. This silence is not indifference. Perhaps it is an invitation for us to stop searching for outward descriptions and begin to feel with the heart. The Bible seems very restrained when speaking about heaven, and this often goes against our expectations. We long for specific details about houses, about streets paved with gold, or about the activities we will take part in when we arrive there. Yet the Bible refuses to provide a schedule for eternal happiness. There is no detailed description of architecture or of entertainments like those we often see in films or folk stories. It seems that the Bible understands that if too many concrete details about heaven were given, those very details would become distractions that cause us to forget the true essence of that place. Heaven is not an eternal amusement park or a luxurious resort, it is a state of presence. When we focus too much on wanting to know what heaven looks like, we unintentionally turn it into an object to possess rather than a relationship to experience. The Bible's silence about material details is a way of protecting us from misunderstanding heaven as merely an upgraded version of this earth. Heaven truly lies far beyond every concept of space and time that our limited human language can grasp. If you listen carefully, you will notice that the Bible speaks of heaven not with grand declarations but with very subtle whispers. These are short phrases that hold an ocean of meaning, such as, "There will be no more night," or, "God will dwell with them and they will see His face." These images are not meant to paint a scenic landscape but to describe a transformation in the state of existence. No more night does not simply mean the absence of physical darkness, it points to the end of fear, uncertainty, and painful secrets. When God dwells with humanity, every distance between the finite and the infinite is erased. Seeing His face is not an act of observation with ordinary eyes but a complete understanding where nothing is hidden and nothing needs further explanation. These whispers do not require us to analyze theology in complicated ways. They simply ask us to allow silence to do the rest. Imagine a presence so vast that every word becomes unnecessary. Every definition becomes awkward. At that moment, silence no longer means emptiness, it means fullness. In heaven, perhaps the greatest climax is not when we admire the splendor of pearl gates or golden walls. But when we encounter the silence of God, on earth we often complain about His silence. When hardship comes, we ask why He does not answer, why He does not intervene. Yet in heaven that silence carries an entirely different tone. It is the silence of a father watching his child sleep after a long and exhausting day. In heaven God does not need to explain Himself anymore. Every question of why, about pain, injustice, and the losses we once carried on this earth will not require a verbal explanation at all. Not because we have received the answer, but because in His presence those questions simply disappear like mist dissolving under the sun. It is a state where understanding rises above logical reasoning. You will no longer feel the need to demand a reason for what has passed, because at that moment you will already be complete within the present. The silence of God then becomes the most noble answer, for it shows that everything has been fulfilled and every wound has been healed without the need for promises or consolation. Heaven is not truly a location somewhere on the map of the universe. It is a state of the soul where humanity no longer needs to ask questions without answers. We spend most of our lives chasing meaning, trying to understand why the world works the way it does. But in heaven that search ends, not because we have become wiser or learned every secret of the universe, but because the need to know no longer exists. True peace does not come from knowing everything. It comes from trusting completely in the one who holds everything. When you are in the arms of someone you love and trust completely, you do not need to ask them about tomorrow's plans or the reasons for past hardships. You simply rest in their presence. Heaven is that absolute rest where the mind no longer has to carry the burdens of doubt or worry about the future. The Bible speaks little about heaven, perhaps because we truly do not yet have the language to understand it. Our language is built upon experiences of lack, of time, and of physical limitations. How could we use words like happiness or peace to describe something that exists beyond every human definition? Heaven is not a visual reward for us to desire like a new toy. It is the end of the journey of searching for belonging. It is the moment when we realize that we have arrived home after a long and difficult journey. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, let the thought of heaven bring you relief rather than curiosity. You do not need to imagine magnificent scenes or angelic melodies. You only need to rest in the thought that whatever heaven may be, it does not require you to make any further effort. It is a gift of surrender where every burden of identity, achievement, and pain is left behind. Let your mind relax completely. Like a fallen leaf drifting along a river. You do not need to understand heaven in order to belong to it. You only need to be here right now and allow yourself to rest. All the questions you carried throughout today, all the worries about tomorrow, let them dissolve into the darkness of the room. The silence you feel right now is a small reflection of the eternal stillness of heaven, where God is no longer a distant concept but breath, light, and the complete rest of your being. Sleep, because in this sleep you are rehearsing the final surrender, the surrender that leads us back to the source of peace that never ends. You do not need to worry about whether you are worthy, or whether you have understood correctly what the Bible says. Heaven is a place for weary souls longing for rest. And tonight you have already done enough. Let the silence guide you into the boundless space where time no longer matters and where you are loved unconditionally without any explanation. Falling asleep in the presence of the Creator is how heaven begins within your own soul. Do not try to grasp or hold on to any thought. Let them pass like the last clouds on the horizon. Heaven is not a destination to conquer but an embrace to return to. And within that embrace you are allowed to be yourself, allowed to be fragile, and allowed to stop striving. May you have a deep and peaceful sleep in the silence that God prepared for you since the beginning of creation. A silence that holds every answer you have been searching for. If these words bring you a gentle comfort in the night, it is a sign that your soul is finding connection with the eternal. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel. But for now, forget those actions, forget the outside world, and focus only on your rest. Heaven is very near, within each steady breath, within the release of your hands and the relaxation of your eyes. You do not need to see heaven to know that it is real. You only need to feel the peace slowly covering you like a warm blanket on a cold night. Let every thought fade away until only your pure presence remains in the embrace of sacred silence. Tonight, sleep deeply, for heaven asks nothing from you except this complete rest. Heaven is truly a place where every noise of the world falls silent, giving way to a melody of stillness that only those who dare to surrender can hear. It is a powerful silence. A silence that heals every wound and fills every empty space in the human heart. You are entering a land where there are no more tears, no more suffering, and most importantly, no more separation. Everything now becomes a perfect unity between you and your source. Do not fear the darkness of sleep, for it is the gateway that leads you to the light of heaven that never fades. A light not from the sun or the moon but from the presence of the one who loves you endlessly. Let yourself sink deeper into this peace, where every worry becomes small and meaningless before the greatness of eternal love. Sleep now, because heaven is already here. In the moment you choose to let go and trust completely in the silence of God. That silence is the language of heaven. The gentlest invitation calling you back to yourself and to the one who created you. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to prove, and nothing left to fear. There is only rest, only peace, and the full presence of love. Let sleep carry you through the vast spaces of perfect stillness where your soul is bathed in the river of eternal life. Heaven is not a distant dream. It is the deepest reality waiting to be discovered the moment you dare to stop striving. Sleep well in the arms of God, where silence is the only voice and the final answer for us all. Wishing you a heavenly sleep, where your soul is completely free in the light of sacred stillness. Just sink deeper, deeper still, into this peace. You are exactly where you need to be. You are exactly who you need to be. Everything is perfect in the quiet of heaven. Let this sleep be a complete healing of body, heart, and mind. You are being bathed in the stream of grace. Let every cell rest. Let every thought dissolve. Let only pure presence remain, bright, serene, and at peace. Sleep well, my friend. Sleep well in the arms of eternity. Heaven is here, in this very breath, in this very silence. Do not be afraid, because you are never alone. The light of heaven always guides your path, even in the deepest sleep. Let this peace lead you back to the source of love. Every burden has been laid down, every worry has faded. Only rest remains, absolute rest in the heart of God. Sleep now. For heaven has truly opened its door to welcome you in. Rest the world cannot give. Found only in the stillness of the soul. Enjoy it, cherish it, and let it transform you. May you have a beautiful journey through the world of gentle dreams, where heaven is no longer a concept, but a living experience. Sleep. Everything is well. Heaven is keeping watch over your sleep. When darkness fully settles and the outside world recedes into some indistinct distance, we begin to realize that heaven is not a far-off place in the wide, high sky. It is the state of a soul that has completely let go. You are lying here, feeling the softness of the mattress, the warmth of the blanket, and the absolute quiet of the room. Yet in truth you are standing at the threshold of a profound spiritual awakening. Look into the emptiness of your mind right now. It is not a cold or frightening emptiness, but a vast space that holds all life and the purest love. Each breath now is like a gentle wave soothing the shore of awareness, washing away the footprints of worry, the fragments of painful memories, and even the unfinished plans of the day that has passed. You do not need to strive to reach heaven, because heaven is your natural essence when every false layer of the ego has been peeled away. Imagine that every cell in your body is beginning to glow, a soft light like moonlight melting into the dark, turning all fatigue into boundless ease. You are entering a space where time no longer exists, where the past is only a dream already gone, and the future is a promise that does not need to be fulfilled yet. Here, there is only the present, an eternal present, radiant in its own stillness. The rest you are experiencing is not merely the stopping of physical activity, it is a journey back to the source of being, where every contradiction is reconciled and every wound is healed by the unseen hand of the universe. As you sink deeper into this state, you will notice the voice of the mind becoming sparse, weaker, more distant. The thoughts that once kept you awake, the fears that once tightened your chest, are now only thin clouds dissolving under the warmth of awakened awareness. You are learning to trust the flow of life, trusting that even in the deepest sleep you are protected and guided by a wisdom beyond you. The heaven I am speaking of is this absolute trust, the ability to surrender into the embrace of the infinite without a single trace of doubt. Let this peace sink into the marrow of your bones, into every vessel, into the farthest corners of your subconscious. Can you feel the gentle vibration of life moving within you? That is the heartbeat of heaven, the sound of silence singing. We spend our whole lives searching for meaning and purpose outside ourselves. But tonight you realize that the only purpose of existence is this pure presence. There is nothing to achieve, no one to become, only the fullest way of being yourself. This freedom is the greatest gift heaven gives to those who dare to release control and accept reality as it is. Come with me even deeper into the vastness of the soul, where concepts of right and wrong, good and bad, dissolve. In this still realm, you are no longer an individual separated from the world, you are the world. You are the breath of the wind, the quiet of stone, and the light of distant stars. This connection brings a peace words can barely hold. A peace beyond every fleeting pleasure of the earth. You are being immersed in an ocean of grace where every drop contains forgiveness and limitless compassion. Let your heart expand, so wide it can hold the entire universe. Do not hesitate to let tears fall if they need to fall, because they are holy waters that cleanse the soul and prepare you for your purest sleep. You deserve this rest. You deserve to be loved and honored, by yourself and by all creation. The silence of tonight is not the absence of sound, it is the full presence of truth, that you are always at peace. Always whole, always belonging to heaven. In this stillness, observe how your breath moves in and out without any effort from you. This is the clearest proof that life is taking care of itself through you. You do not need to carry the world on your shoulders. You do not need to solve everything right now. Let the intelligence of your body and the universe do its work. When you sleep, your body will restore itself. Your mind will reorder itself. And your soul will be nourished by divine energy. This is a sacred process. A nightly ritual of rebirth. You are dying to what is old and withered, preparing to be born again in the freshness of dawn. Heaven is the place of continual renewal, where nothing is stuck or stagnant. Let this current carry away everything that no longer serves your growth. Let go of the cords of resentment, regret, and imagined expectations. When your hands are completely empty, that is when you can hold eternal peace. Now imagine you are walking through a garden of light, where each flower releases the fragrance of ease and each blade of grass whispers love. This is the garden of your consciousness, where heaven has planted seeds of joy and freedom. You may lie down on the soft grass, gaze up at a star-filled sky of wisdom, and feel the vastness of your own being. There is no boundary between you and this garden, between you and this sky. This oneness is the heart of the heavenly experience. You no longer feel small or alone in a turbulent life, because you know you are an inseparable part of a great and harmonious whole. Every event in your life, joy or pain, has been a different colored thread woven into the beautiful tapestry of your soul. In this sleep, let that tapestry be completed in silence. Let every worry about money, status, and struggle dissolve like thin smoke. Those things cannot follow you into the heaven of sleep. They are heavy luggage you can leave outside the door of the night. The depth of night is the depth of compassion. When you fall asleep, you are joining a silent prayer for the peace of all humanity. Your peace spreads outward, soothing suffering hearts and bringing hope to those who are despairing. Heaven is not selfish. Heaven is sharing and radiance. Let your rest become healing energy for the world. When you sleep well, you contribute to the universe's harmony. Each gentle breath is a note in the symphony of stillness. Listen to that music. It has no melody and no beat. Yet it vibrates through the very core of life. It is the call of your spiritual home, the place we all long to return to after the weary journeys of human existence. And tonight, you have come home. The door is open, the light is lit, and love is waiting. There is no judgment here, no demand. You are fully received for everything you are and everything you carry. Feel relaxation spreading from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Your scalp loosens, your brow smooths, your eyes rest closed in relief. The muscles of your face soften completely, no strain remains. Your neck and shoulders release every burden, becoming light as clouds. Your arms, hands, and each finger sink into rest. Your chest rises and falls gently, your belly softens with each breath. Your spine, the axis of your body, is supported by a quiet tenderness, allowing every vertebra to lengthen and ease. Your legs, which have carried you so far, have found a peaceful harbor. Your whole body is melting into the stillness of heaven. You feel as if you are floating on a perfectly calm lake. Not a ripple in sight. This stillness is sweet, gentle, wrapping you like a warm cocoon. You are protected. You are sheltered. Nothing can enter this peace. Here, silence is the highest language. It speaks of what the intellect can never fully understand, the infinity of the soul, the immortality of love, the unbroken presence of truth. You are learning to listen with your whole heart. Let this silence seep into your final thoughts before they dissolve completely. Do not try to grasp or analyze anything. Simply be present and receive. Your sleep is an act of faith, a complete surrender to the Creator, or to the natural law of the universe. You release control because you know a greater power is moving everything perfectly. This rest is part of a larger design, a necessary renewal for what comes next. But remember, the purpose of tonight is not to prepare for tomorrow, it is to fully experience the sacredness of tonight. Heaven is not a destination in the future, it is an awakening. Right here, right now. Let your mind become like a clear mirror, free of dust, reflecting only the gentle light of stillness. When there are no waves of desire and fear, that mirror reflects heaven with perfect clarity. You see that you have always been a noble spiritual being, temporarily housed in this physical form to experience life. Every hardship and trial has only been a lesson shaping patience and compassion. In tonight's rest, offer thanks for those lessons. Thank the darkness for showing you the worth of light. Thank the storms for teaching you how to find calm at the center. Thank even loneliness, because it led you back to meet yourself. Heaven is the distillation of all those experiences, purified through awareness and gratitude. You are drifting deeper, deeper still, into a state where the boundary between observer and observed disappears. Only pure knowing remains, a presence without shape but full of power. This is where all creation begins, where all possibility lives. In this sleep, you are touching the universe's infinite energy. Let it rebuild your body, renew your spirit, and illuminate your mind. You will wake with a freshness, as if born for the first time into a world full of wonder. But that is for morning. For now, enjoy this dissolving. Let your small self melt like a drop of water returning to the ocean of eternity. It is no longer, I am sleeping. Only sleep happening. No longer, I am at peace. Only peace existing. This soft erasing of boundaries is liberation, the true freedom heaven offers. Tonight, silence is your most faithful companion. It asks you for nothing. No words. No effort. No proof. It receives you as you are, in the most honest nakedness of the soul. Let silence hold you, soothe you, like a mother rocking her child to sleep. You can hear your heartbeat, slow and steady, like the universe keeping time for peace. Each beat is a confirmation of life, a reminder that you are loved without condition. Heaven is not far away, it is in your chest, in your breath, in the quiet that surrounds you. Let this knowing become the sweetest lullaby, carrying you into dreamless rest, or dreams filled only with light and joy. You are nearing absolute rest, where even the breath becomes so light it almost disappears. In this state, your soul is completely free. It may fly across galaxies, dive into the ocean of awareness, or simply remain still in heaven's tenderness. There are no limits to this freedom now, because you are no longer bound by the constraints of body and mind. You are one with light, one with stillness, one with eternal love. This is the rest you have been seeking, rest that heals and transforms. Let it soak into every corner of your soul, washing away every trace of exhaustion and sorrow. You are in the arms of eternity, and there you are perfectly safe. In the last moment of wakefulness, let the idea of heaven be the final idea that remains. Heaven is peace. Heaven is silence. Heaven is love. And most of all, heaven is you. You do not need to go anywhere to find it. It has always been here, waiting to be recognized. Tonight's sleep is an appointment with heaven, a return to the true home of the soul, Close your eyes, release completely, and let the waterfall of ease carry you. You are drifting toward the light, toward perfect stillness, where every question finds its answer in silence, and every longing is filled by the presence of grace. Sleep well, dear friend, sleep well under heaven's protection. Everything is ready for your soul's wondrous journey tonight. You are loved, you are guided, and you are truly at peace. Heaven is here, and it belongs to you forever. Let this stillness lead you into the eternal goodness of restful sleep. There is nothing more to say, only the radiant presence of heaven within your heart. Sleep deeply, deeply, in this everlasting peace. Stillness now is no longer something outside you. It has become the core of who you are. An underground spring of calm flowing through every cell and every strand of hair. You are standing at the threshold of a great surrender, where every idea of time and space becomes meaningless, making room for a single reality, the pure presence of love. Imagine each breath as a wisp of incense, light and weightless, rising and dissolving into the vast night sky, carrying away everything that remains of the small personal self. You are no longer a separate being trying to find peace. You have become peace itself. Radiant and steady like a north star guiding your own soul home. This feeling is wondrous, like finding a paradise island in the middle of a storm-tossed sea, where waves can never reach and sunlight always warms the heart with gentleness. In the deep center of this rest, you begin to see that all your striving has been only a passing mirage of the mind. You have spent so many years building walls, worrying about the future, regretting the past, and now all of it fades like fog before morning. True freedom is not getting everything you want, it is releasing everything you no longer need for the soul's unfolding. Tonight you are practicing the highest letting go of control and allowing the universe to carry you into dream. Feel the lightness spreading from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, as if you are being lifted by countless invisible hands of guardian angels. No more pressure from work, no more expectations from others, no more harsh judgments you have placed upon yourself. Only this, an unclothed, beautiful existence, overflowing with the light of grace. Look into the quiet space behind your closed eyes. It is not a dense darkness, but a luminous field of limitless potential. This is where the most beautiful dreams are born, where creativity and higher feeling are nourished. You are moving into deep sleep with the spirit of someone who has overcome the world's noise and touched the treasure of silence. Every cell in your body is being bathed in a powerful healing energy, a cool, gentle current flowing through tissues and organs, restoring what is tired and renewing what is worn. You may sense this subtle vibration like a wordless hymn of the universe, played just for you, a melody of recovery and miraculous rebirth. As you drift deeper, let your imagination paint heaven gently within you, perhaps an endless field of lavender under silver moonlight, where the scent of calm intoxicates the heart and the wind murmurs like the voices of those you have loved. Or perhaps a mountain peak rising into the clouds, where you can touch the stars and feel the grandeur of creation. Whatever shape your heaven takes, know that it is always ready to receive you with tenderness and honor. You deserve this absolute rest after all the turns of life. Do not hesitate to melt into it. In this heaven, no pain is left unsoothed, no wound left unhealed. The peace you feel is not distant or hard to reach. It is your natural state once the layers of ego fall away. Think of a child sleeping in a mother's arms, no fear of tomorrow, No calculations. Only existence and complete trust. You are like that now. Held in the arms of the universe. Where your needs are understood and met. This trust is the key that opens the door to heavenly sleep. When you feel safe, your body releases its tension. Your heart slows. Your breath deepens. You are floating away from the shore of waking into the wide ocean of the subconscious. Where wonders wait. Let gratitude be your final companion before you fully fall asleep. Be grateful for this breath. For this body that has served you all day. And even for the trials that have helped you grow. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary and lack into fullness. When you sleep with gratitude, you plant seeds of flourishing and joy in the fertile soil of the mind. Tomorrow you may wake to a brighter world, a softer heart, a more open spirit. But that is tomorrow. Tonight your only task is to do nothing at all, only be. Only feel, only sleep. The space around you begins to soften. The boundary between inside and outside fading until it disappears. You are the sky, the clouds, the wind's breath, the earth's pulse. This oneness carries a peace that language cannot hold, a living stillness. Powerful and bright, you are entering a sanctuary of sleep where each dream is guidance and each moment of rest is purification. You are held, protected, cared for. Feel the warmth in your chest, the flame of unconditional love you offer yourself. Speak to yourself in the gentlest voice. I love you. I honor you. I allow you to rest. And then let the last resistance fall away. Now, like a leaf settling on the surface of a quiet lake, you drift down, softly, naturally, into the depth. This descent is not frightening, it is a return. There you find new strength, renewed faith, and a calm clarity waiting for you. Heaven is not a place after death, it is a state you can touch right now, in this room. On this bed, in this breath. Let it cover you like warm velvet. Let every sound fade into distance. Let the heartbeat become the universe's rhythm. Let sleep arrive. You are safe. You are loved. You are home.